It's the Joel Shit Show featuring Joel Shit. Hi, and welcome to the Joel Shit Show. I'm your host, Joel Shit. So I'm driving to South Lake Tahoe. I'm on 99. I'm in Lodi, the wine grape capital of the world. You didn't know Lodi was that, did you? Good old Lodi. I was going to do a shot of Galt, but I forgot. Maybe Galt is after Lodi. I don't know. I get all these towns mixed up. Crazy mixed up towns for crazy mixed up kids. Yesterday went running and I was spending most of the day hacking up a lung. I was definitely sick, but I feel better now, and I guess that's what's important. But a couple of days up in the mountains should be good to cleanse me out. So if you're looking for a job like I am, it's pretty likely that things are different now from the way they were when you last had to look for a job. So in the old days, of course, you'd get the newspaper and you'd look at the want ads and you'd find a job that way. And then there was the internet, and depending on what kind of industry you were in, you'd use the internet to find a job. That was my case, because any job I have is probably going to involve a computer because I know how to use one. Well, everyone knows how to use a computer now. So now every job is online, and the newspaper really doesn't have anything anymore. So where are you going to find jobs now if everyone is now advertising on the internet? Then you're not standing out like you once were, right? So here's the thing. Now that everybody's on the internet, you can use the internet for networking. In the old days, it's like with Twitter. I'm using Twitter, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, just search for Joel Shit Show. That's my username on Twitter. I don't want everyone to ask me how my trip was. They could just watch the show. But not everyone I know watches the show. Face it, it's pretty boring most of the time. I don't like telling the same stories over and over again. But this is what I can do. As things happen, I can send a text message and have it show up on my Twitter page. People can read my Twitter page, and then they can see how things are going. And then I don't have to spend my time telling 40 different people, hey, this is what I did, and then I did this, and then I did this. Honestly, it could make the Joel Shit Show obsolete. Wouldn't that be fun? Oh, yeah. Well, the problem with Twitter is not everyone has it yet. Yes, some people never will have it. Some people don't have it for TV, for that matter. So I still have to tell people, but I don't have to tell as many people. So originally, when the jobs were on the internet, you had an advantage if you were searching for a job on the internet, because not everyone was on the internet looking for a job. Everyone's on the internet looking for a job now. So what's the next stage up? Well, you have to find something that you have some kind of advantage. So like with Twitter, not everyone has Twitter, so if you use Twitter, you're at an advantage. 10 years ago, if you had a computer and you used it to find a job, you're at an advantage. Just Monster.com, you know, not everyone was using it. So, now, what do some people have that not everyone has? Like Twitter, other types of things, social networking. So, here's the thing. I can look for a job online, and I can find out, oh, that's great, check this out. This restaurant is called Holy Ravioli. Oh, I missed it. I don't think it showed up. It's hard to film and drive at the same time. The restaurant was called Holy Ravioli, and it was W-H-O-L-E-Y. Oh, man. I wish I had known that was going to be there. I could have practiced. So anyway, let's say there's a job at a company I want to work at. Let's say it's at eBay. I can look on LinkedIn.com and look at all my connections, and I can look see which of my connections work for eBay or know someone who works for eBay. And I can say, hey, can you refer me for this job? Now, because if you just submit your resume on your own, it kind of disappears into a vortex. Now, granted, that's how I got my job at Hitachi, but Hitachi wasn't really with the times, and that's why it worked. Generally, even before the internet, a lot of people got their jobs by networking. You know, you went down to the Moose Lodge after work and knocked a few back and shot dice, and you talked about the foreman and what an asshole he is, and how the foreman's part of the Elks anyway, so what a jerk, right? And then one of the other guys you were working with would be like, oh yeah, well hey, We need someone to sit around and do nothing all day at my place of employment. Why don't you go? Why don't I try to get you in at, ABC Acme Incorporated? And so then that's what happens. That's just networking. That's how it was done in the 50s and 60s, Well, today, we use computers, so we don't have to talk directly to anyone. Even like right now, I'm not even looking at the camera. I'm talking directly to the Mustang in front of me, who is just barely driving fast enough. So, LinkedIn, you look for someone working at the company you want to work for, and you contact them. You'd be surprised how many people are in your extended network, like hundreds of thousands of people. It's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing. Somebody knows Kevin Bacon, and somebody knows someone at the company you want to work for. So not only does it give you an excuse to talk to your friends, but it also gives you an in. Now here's the thing. Anyone can do this, but a lot of people aren't doing it yet. We're soon going to get to the point where everyone's going to know somebody everywhere, and what happens then, I'm not sure. But just like the internet 10 years ago, not everybody is using networking on the internet to find their next job. And so this is your big opportunity to use that. So if you haven't been on LinkedIn, sign up for LinkedIn, fill out your profile, do all the things you have to do. Get as many connections as you can of people you actually know. Don't just have a bunch of connections that you don't know. Because then you're going to find the job that you want, and you're going to be like, oh, according to this person that works for the company I want to work for is a friend of one of my connections. But then you look and you go, well, who the hell is Bob Smith? Well, see, you can't email this stranger and be like, hey, can you recommend me for this job? Because they don't know you. They can't provide a good reference. So don't just have like 1,000 connections. Like I see a lot of people that are like, oh, if you don't have 500 connections, then you're worthless. You only want to connect. It's not like Facebook or MySpace where you can add all the people you want and there's no penalty really. LinkedIn, you really got to only add people that you would vouch for or that would vouch for you. Don't add the boss that fired you on LinkedIn, because then someone may ask that person for a reference of you because you're connected to them. And what is he going to say? He's a moron. Don't hire him. Well, that was helpful, wasn't it? So there you go. It has nothing to do with my trip to Lake Tahoe at all. So that's all we have today. Visit us on the web at joelshitshow.com. Email joel@joelshitshow.com.